Distinguished Senators Martha Adeyemi and Honorable Emmanuel Jibe. I also recognize our host, the Minister of Information, a friend, colleague of many years. Our landlord and Minister FCT and my sister Minister of State, Jumoke Akinjide. Head of Service, thank you for being here to support us.
Please, we have a lot of noise coming from behind. Let's have one meeting.
Fellow civil servants in the 3 ministries that are here today, you are my own, not so, at least as a former head of service. All the civil servants here are my own. I say that because Mama, Mrs. Sani, has denied me today. Their own is only the 2 ministers of FCT. The Minister of Information and I will not be on our own, no. I want to thank Mr. President for giving us this opportunity to tell the world and Nigerians what we are doing in our various ministries, and also to thank our colleague who has been comparing it very well. It's always a pleasure for me to be here. I remember with nostalgia the days we used to have press briefings here. It's a bit noisy. Can we have some quiet so you can hear me? In the days of whatever you do it well. Thank you. You are all very good information officers. So our first slide is the background information, our mandate, the vision and mission of the ministry, the constituting agencies, our key achievement, moving the sector forward, and conclusion. Everybody knows that housing is universally accepted as the second most important human need, and our constitution makes it imperative for us to provide suitable and adequate shelter for all Nigerians. And under the Transformation Agenda and Mission 2020, the provision of accessible housing, no signal, provision of accessible housing is one of the strategic national imperatives for guaranteeing the well-being and productivity of the citizenry. My presentation is not coming on what is happening. I want to say that our ministry is just 3 years old because we have been previously under Ministry of Works, then in Ministry of Environment, and as a result, we have suffered a lot of institutional instability. It's only in April 2010 that we were made a ministry on our own. Our mandate, you can read it, you all have the booklet with you. Our vision and mission to establish a suitable housing delivery system and to ensure easy access to home ownership schemes. Our mission statement is there. We have 8 departments and 10 units that are listed there on page 4. And we have 2 parastatals, the Federal Housing Authority, which is undergoing restructuring, and the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria that manages the National Housing Fund. Our key achievements, that's what we are presenting today from May 2011 up to May 2013. First of all, we realized we didn't have any housing or urban development policy, so that was the first thing that we tackled. We started by presenting it to the stakeholders forum, the EMIT, and then I'm happy to say that exactly 1 year ago today, on the 20th of June 2011, our housing and urban development policies were approved by the Federal Executive Council. And then when we had our National Council on Housing, in Port Harcourt in November last year. We presented it, we made it publicly to all those who attended. The goal of the National Housing Policy is to ensure that all Nigerians own or have access to decent, safe and sanitary housing in healthy environments with infrastructural services at affordable cost and with secure tenure. And for the urban development policy to promote a dynamic system of urban settlements which fosters sustainable economic growth, promotes efficient urban and regional planning and development, as well as ensures improved standard of living and well-being for all Nigerians. We have a national building code which was approved in 2006. It's supposed to be reviewed every 3 years, but no review was done until we came on board. So now we have a committee working on it to review the national building code. On land administration, since we came on board, we have signed 2,667 certificates of occupancy, 1,651 land titles, and created 3,787 number of service plots in the ministry. We have a presidential committee on land reform that is working, and we hope that at the end we will be able to ensure that landowners have secured titles and bankable assets, be it farmland, residential plots or commercial plots. If you don't have a title to it, it's of no value. Discussions are going on with state governments to reduce the cost of land applications and to reduce the time that is spent on processing titles. In housing delivery, we have delivered a total of 16,447 houses, made up of 238 housing units under our prototype housing scheme. The prototype housing scheme we did primarily for civil servants, and that is the only housing scheme in which we are giving a little money in the budget yearly. And when we finish building, we pass them on to the head of the civil service of the Federation to distribute to Nigerians. We have delivered 2,009 houses under the PPP and contractor financing scheme. I'm happy to say that one achievement that we have is that last year we succeeded in training one of our staff, an architect and a lady, as a PPP. She's a certified PPP expert, certified by the Washington Institute of Public-Private Partnership. And this year we are going ahead to train 3 more. Miss Architect Suleiman, please stand. I'd like to show you off. Thank you very much. So she's available for consultancy services for those who do not have PPP experts. We are ready to put her at your service. We have also produced 1,756 housing units through the Federal Housing Authority, 4,934 housing units through mortgages created by the Federal Mortgage Bank, 7,510 housing units through estate development loans, also provided by the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria. In the next slide, you will see the breakdown, total 16,447. And in the last column, we have put the expected number of beneficiaries. We calculate that one housing unit, 6 people. That is how we calculate that. But of course, we know that in Africa, we have more people than that. But to guide us, that is what we use. In the next slide, details of contractor financing projects. You will see that we are spread out in all the states. Adamawa, Cross River, and each we have indicated the number of houses, the size of the land, the number of houses we are producing, the type of technology, because we are using alternative technology now, not only the traditional cement and sand, and then at the end, we have given the level of implementation, whether we have paid compensation on the land or we have not. So you have Adamawa, Cross River, Delta, Edo, Enugu, Katsina, Kogi, Lagos, Nasarawa, Ogun, and Taraba. That is aside other. That is aside other housing projects that we have spread out all over the country. In the next few slides, just give me the last one, please. In the next few slides, we are showing all the houses that we have built across the country. The first one there is under PPP project, and it's in Lagos, in Ijora. We produced 28 housing units. They have all been bought up, 35 million each. They are 3-bedroom with 1-bedroom attached boys' quarter. The next one is a PPP, another PPP project in Ikoyi. You know Ikoyi is the highbrow. We did only 10 units there under PPP. They are all 10 of them are already sold out. Do you want to know the cost? They range between 140 million to 170 million. We are coming to my type of houses. These are not my type of houses. The next slide, we are showing the prototype housing scheme, the one we just completed in Kuje for civil servants. Next slide, please. Next. These are the 200 housing units. We have 3-bedroom and 2-bedroom. They are mixed developments in Kuje. They are all completed and they are being allocated now. 2-bedroom is 6 million, 3-bedroom is 7 million. It's not bad, is it? And the infrastructure have all been done. The roads, there's water and there's light, as you can see from the photographs. The next slide are houses, 458 housing units, detached, triplex, 4-bedroom semi-detached, 5-bedroom detached, 4-bedroom detached duplexes. Go ahead. 4-bedroom terraced duplexes. Also FHA, the Apo development continues. And then we have 27 units of 3-bedroom terraced duplexes and 25 units of 4-bedroom detached duplexes under construction. In the next slides, we are showing the infrastructure. We are doing the roads in the Apo developments. The next slide is also FHA housing projects in Yenegua. We are doing 20 units of 4-bedroom, 48 units of 3-bedroom duplexes, 2-bedroom, and 12 units, total 80 units. The next slide is an ongoing project in Lagos by the Federal Housing Authority, also in Abeson in Lagos, 78 units of 3-bedroom flats each. The next is 38 units of 2-bedroom houses in Cross River State. The next one, 38 units luxury 2-bedroom flats in Warimpa, Abuja. The next one is in Kaduna State, Goningora, 2- and 3-bedroom houses. The next one, 80 units of 2- and 3-bedroom bungalows, detached bungalows in Gombe. The next one, we show the aerial view of a housing project we have in Owerri. Phase 1. Is that 1 hour? I've only just started. There are 2 phases. Phase 1 is 225 units. We are getting a lot of support and collaboration with all the state governments, starting with the Minister FCTA here, who recently allocated a total of 1,000 hectares of land for the ministry, the FHA, and the Federal Mortgage Bank. And I want to say thank you very much to my colleague. We are getting the same support also from most of the state governors that we have approached. That is why you can see the spread of the houses that we have provided in the states. The next slides are the FMBN sponsored estates. And again, I want you to notice the spread of the houses. The first one are 400 units in Yola. The next is in Ebonyi. The next ones are in Kwara State. The next is in our FCT here. I'm sure all of you have seen the Trademore Estate in Lugbe, where we have 2,500 units of 2- and 3-bedroom houses. The next, the blue roof, if you are in the ministry, immigration, you'll be seeing these blue roofs. They are part of our development, 270 mixed housing units in, on the airport road. We call it the Aviation Village. The next one is Jedo in an area called New Lugbe. We have 250 units there. There are 2-bedroom houses, semi-detached, detached, 3-bedroom, and also duplexes in Jedo Estate. The next one is a housing unit in Abeokuta State. The next one is also FMBN in Kwara State, 2- to 3-bedroom bungalows ongoing. The next one also FMBN ongoing in Gombe, 350 housing units. The next ones are 100 units in Macaulay, Benue State. And our undersite and services scheme, we are doing 150 publicly serviced plots, residential plots, in 12 states of the Federation. That is 2 per geopolitical zones. In Lagos, Yola, Kano, Bida in Niger State, Enugu, Rumudaya in Port Harcourt, and so on. The next slide, we try to do some of the things we are doing under site and services in providing infrastructure, roads and water, especially in our estates. The next slides, we are showing our alternative building material. We are trying other building materials, not just cement and sand. We don't just go and start building. We always do a little prototype, and then after we have done that, our professionals will look at it, make sure that they are solid and they are amenable to our weather before we now give the go-ahead. The houses we are going to show you now are the houses we have done using a flat steel in Kuje. The factory, there's a factory in Lagos that is now going to produce the steels that we will use. And we hope that, I want to look at this like our flagship project, because we are using a new technology, that is one. 2, Mr. President directed that we should use solar light to panel all the estate lights, that is the lights within the estate, on the roads, outside light. 3, we are also doing waste to energy. If you look at them, you will see these steel forms, but they don't come like that. These are profiles from the flat steel. We use it for the body of the house and also for the roof. And when you use steel for the roof, you don't bother about changing the roof. Maybe the wood will rust or things like that. It's a permanent roof that you get out of that. And then below are the finished products. We have just done 22 units, 3-bedroom detached bungalows, each room self-contained, and they are going for 6 million each. Good price, I would say. And then if you look at the next slide please, that is the factory. Because they established a factory, if you look at it, you will see the flat steel going into the machines, and then when it comes through the machine, it now comes through from the profiles that we showed you earlier on, that are used for the body, and for the body and the roof. And then they fill it with, if you go back a bit so that we can steal the panels, please. Go back like 2 slides more. Back please. I think one more will be there. One more. Back, back, back again. Back, 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 back again. Yes, if you look on the floor, the left, on my left, maybe to be on your right, you can see the panels on the floor. Those are the panels they use for the body of the houses. It's done with gauze. You know, there's a frame like this and the gauze in between, and then they fill them with cement and a binding agent that forms the body of the houses. You don't need to plaster because it's very, very smooth. If you can go forward again till we reach the example of the NIBRI houses, the Institute, Nigerian Institute Building and Road Research Institute. They produce a NIBRI cement, what we call NIBRI cement, and there we are showing you some of the houses that we have used the NIBRI cement to build. Go ahead, next slide, please. The next slide is also, I wanted to show us the Brick City. I'm sure you've all seen Brick City on the road to Kubwa, where we have 1,000 units going on. 300 in the first phase has been completed and allocated. 700 units are ongoing and have reached various levels of completion. For social housing, I know that when we say 3-bedroom is 6 million, some people may think it's expensive, but I think it's good considering that already we've done the infrastructure. But we have a new product we are also trying out. That is what we call the Cyrus project. There are Nigerians in diaspora who are coming to partner with us to provide houses. They are going to do 1,000 units in any state that gives them land. What we have decided to do to bring the cost of the houses down is that we are going to take half of the houses of the plot and we are going to do the infrastructure in those plots. So they will do 500 of the houses, we do the lights, the road, the water. And we are assured, I've been assured, that we can deliver houses, 1 bedroom for 1.5 million, 2 bedroom for 2.5 million. And then 3-bedroom houses for 3.5 million. Maximum, we are hoping that none of the 3-bedroom houses will exceed 5 million. So we are going to deliver those projects, the Cyrus project, for between 1.5 to 5 million. That is 1 bedroom to 3 bedroom. And Nigerians will know because we would like to show them off and show that it is possible to deliver low-income houses. Another thing we are trying is we are collaborating with producers of building materials to deliver materials to us on site at factory cost. We have succeeded in doing that of cement. Now we are trying other building materials like tiles, roofing sheets, windows, and doors. We have reached advanced state of discussion on those ones. There is also a draft bill in the National Assembly for social housing. But you know, with social housing, government has to subsidize it. So we are looking forward to the passage of the bill to see what will be recommended for the subsidy on social housing. The next slides will show you public buildings that we have done. This one is actually, unfortunately, the Minister of FCT has gone. This is a housing project where we started in Lugbe last year. Unfortunately, it's having a little problem, and I hope that the Minister FCT will help us to resolve it. We are to deliver 144 mixed housing units, 1 to 2 bedroom houses at Lugbe. This is the when I laid the foundations to last year, and then you can see. Move, please. Next slide. Next slide. Next slide. Next slide. Next slide. Okay. We are trying to we partner with state governments on various housing projects. The one we are showing there is a proposed River State Health Village in Port Harcourt. We have reached advanced level of discussion with them. We are waiting for them. The drawings are ready. We are waiting for them to give us the land. The next public buildings. We don't only build houses, we also build public buildings. Recently, the Federal Executive Council awarded contract for the production of federal secretariats in 6 states of the Federation, in Bayelsa, in the south-south, Osogbo in the southwest, Gombe in the northeast, Nasarawa in the north-central. The Minister FCT was with us when we laid the foundation stone for the one in Nasarawa State, Gusau in Zamfara. We also partner with ministries, federal government ministries, to provide both architectural and engineering consultancy services for them. On the next slide, we have listed all the ministries that we partner with: health, interior, women affairs, foreign affairs, youth development, trade, labor, education, and so on. Again, we are building the Zik Mausoleum. It was stalled for about 16 years, but luckily last year the Federal Executive Council awarded it to at 1.4 million. Work is in progress there, and we hope that because it's a national monument, we hope that we'll complete it in our centenary year 2014. The next is a model of the Federal Secretariat that we are building in the 6 locations that I just explained to you. And then here you can see Mr. President himself laying the foundation stone for the one in Yenagoa. The next slide is how far that has progressed so far. Then the next one is Mr. Vice President laying the foundation stone of the one in Gombe. The next slide, this is the fastest that is being constructed, the one in Gombe. As you can see, the Secretariat is on 4 floors. They've already done the slab for the to put on the 4th floor. They are the fastest that we have. This is as at May last year. The next one is the Secretariat in Oka. The SGF is doing the foundation laying ceremony there. And the next slide shows how far that one has reached. They put on the 1st floor slab. The next is myself laying the foundation stone for the one in Nasarawa State, Lafia in Nasarawa State. And the next slide shows how far they have gone. It's a bit slow, because we hope that the contractor will move faster from now on. The next is the one in Osogbo. I did the foundation laying ceremony as well. And you can see the next slide shows how far it has progressed. The next is the one in Gusau. 1st floor slab is done, and I think they are putting on the 2nd floor now. The other thing we do is that we train artisans in the built environment. So far, we have trained 140 artisans, while vocational training centers of the ministry, while 56294 represented the number of professionals in the housing sector. We have 2 vocational training centers in Lagos. One is in Harvey Road and one is in Onikon. The next set of slides will show you the different types of equipment we have here. You can see people doing carpentry. The next is wood machinists, as they call them. And you can see people doing training for sewing. The next one, there are people doing block molding. The next one is a painting and decorating workshop. And the next one in Onikon, we show the training hall and some of the facilities we have in that place, the carpentry training hall and so on. Unfortunately, these are very old structures, so we are partnering with the Shopee program. They are going to renovate and equip them so that they will have modern facilities. And what we are doing is also to partner with the Ministry of Education so that they will be certified and the job that they have will be sustainable. It's not to bring somebody, because in the built environment, we calculate the number of people so that we have people who can do POP, who can lay tiles and granite properly. We don't have to be importing them for from neighboring countries. As far as mortgage is concerned, the MP is here. The Federal Mortgage Bank manages the National Housing Fund, by which civil servants contribute 2.5% of their salaries into the housing fund. Initially, there was a lot of leakages because people collect, but they don't remit. Now, with the e-collection, their collection has increased from 750 million to 2.1 billion now with the e-collection, because you must remit if it's through e-collection. We are also doing something else to help Nigerians to be able to afford houses. We started what we call the those who are in the informal sector. For civil servants is the National Housing Fund. Those in the informal sector, in order to help them, we started the cooperative financing scheme. We launched it in Lagos in 2015. They are doing the first set of houses in Lagos, almost 500 housing units. And for those ones, the cost of a 2-bedroom house is 3.7 million. For a 3-bedroom house is 5.5 million. And what they do, if you join the cooperative, they encourage you to contribute 10,000 naira every month. At least, you must contribute 120,000 every year. But people selling in the market, who are selling yams, tomatoes, they can join the cooperative and they can contribute to this. Sometimes they may be able to afford the 10,000 a month. Sometimes for 3 months they don't pay, and then suddenly they will come with 50,000. But the rule is that at the end of every year you must contribute 120,000 naira yearly, and that gives you access to one of the houses. I think the prices are very, very good. The housing sector is one of the areas where you can produce thousands and thousands of jobs. Mr. President's transformation agenda focuses on job creation, and we are doing this in the ministry. There is no doubt about it. You are all witnesses of what goes on in the any building site, whether it's a public building or private building. And we say in our own presentation that we've been able to provide 1.568286 persons through the jobs through the ministry's housing projects. But if you multiply this by the housing projects going on all over the country, every state of this country where housing projects are going on, you will see that the number is really very, very huge as far as job creation is concerned. On the next slide, we go back to the flat steel bridge. When we went to the site, we saw these young men. They are the ones doing the flat, when the profiles come out from the flat steel, they put them together. And they said they trained them for 2 days only. And they are able, you can see them working, putting the profiles together for housing development. So that is a sure and way that we have contributed to the next slide, I went to one housing, I think it was the one in Lugbe, and you can see all the workers there gathered around me, singing for me, mama, mama, mama. And I advised them that they should work hard so that they won't go and start devil doesn't find work for them when they are idle. As far as urban development is concerned, we have our urban and regional development agenda that we have put together in the ministry. But the greatest problem we have is the issue of urbanization, where we have people, if you listen to the Minister of FCT, he was telling that the population in Abuja has grown from 1 million million to 6 million. And one of the reasons is urbanization. Why do people move? People move from rural to urban areas in search of jobs, in search of a better life. So we need to do something. That is why he's expanding the infrastructure in FCT to be able to accommodate these people. Because when they come to the city, if the jobs are not available, they start moving to the outskirts and they live in any type of houses that is available just for them to have a roof over their heads. So maybe also we need to look at trying to create small-scale industries in the urban area, provide infrastructure in those areas. At least that will stem the movement a little bit. But the problem is there. It is said that 50% of our people now live in cities, and that by 2020 we'll have 60% of our population living in urban areas. We have about 20 cities in Nigeria where the population is over 1 million. So you see the problem we have with urbanization. But we continue to do what we can to build houses and provide infrastructure, and also the President's transformation agenda and the job creation program, so that more of our youths will be gainfully employed. We also take part in the Millennium Development Goal programs and constituency projects. In the next slides, we try to show what we have done for road, water, electricity, public building, how many there are, how many we have completed, and the total that we have provided. And the next slides, we also try to show the spread, the spread of this, next slide behind, provision of, that is the skill acquisition center that we built in Kogi. Next one, these are lights, street lights in Kano. And then we listed the constituency project. The others you will see, Kaduna State, ICT Center, the Skill Acquisition Center, classroom block, a cottage hospital in Kogi State, the classroom in Ondo State, classroom block with the toilet in Jigawa State, motorized borehole in Adamawa State, and the provision of transformers Kwara and Edo states. And the next slide will show our internally generated revenue. In 2011, between May and December, we were able to generate 1.2 billion naira, because somewhere along the line I set up a committee to verify the ministry's houses in Gwarimpa. And that caused us to rake in that amount of money in the short period. In 2012, 1.3 billion, and so far up till May, we have generated 525 million naira. And the revenues come from, tender fees, ground rent, premium on land, registration fee, CFOs, and so on, survey fees. For international cooperation, the World Bank is partnering with us, and we are working with the Federal Ministry of Finance for $300 million to set up a mortgage refinancing company. Maybe later on, if there's time, the MD of the mortgage bank can give a little more details on that. We have progressed very far with it. The company has been registered. We are just looking at the details now of that setting up that company. We hope that it will increase the number of mortgages that the Federal Mortgage Bank gives out. The National Housing Fund is very small, and we've realized that some people don't even know how to access the fund. So on the 1st of July, we have a sensitization program on the National Housing Fund. Then we are working with DFID also. They are assisting in institutional and functional review of the ministry, aimed at achieving lasting institutional efficiency and effectiveness. For Cities Alliance, we are developing a joint working program to undertake an urbanization review. And for Shelter Afrique, they are working with the Federal Mortgage Bank to provide a loan of $100 million to support housing delivery in the country through the Federal Mortgage Bank. UN Habitat, provision of enhanced technical cooperation with us. I'm happy to say that I attended the 24th session of the Governing Council of the UN Habitat in April last year in Nairobi, Kenya, and I was elected the president of the 24th Governing Council of UN Habitat for a period of 2 years. It is a 58-member Governing Council, and that session was attended by 101,144 delegates from 107 countries. We showed some of the photographs there. You can, if you recognize our own Amina, former MDG, SSAP NDG. She was there when we were having a discussion program on post-2015 program. That is the photograph. And below is we are championing the African urbanization program for the UN Habitat, and that is the Chief Executive of UN Habitat, Mr. Klaus. We are exchanging the agreement that we signed during that meeting. That's the photograph there. Moving the sector forward, we are positioning ourselves through the strengthening program we are working out with DFID and the Office of the Head of Civil Service of the Federation. We hope that by the time we finish, the ministry will be properly positioned to execute its responsibilities. As I said earlier on, the FHA is undergoing restructuring, and we hope to finish at the end of this year, and then also to commercialize it so that it will be better placed to achieve its objective. I've talked about the African Urban Agenda, and we are preparing also for the Habitat 3 conference. And the areas that we want to focus on in the country is the areas that we feel we haven't done so well under the MDG, the issue of the slum upgrade and water and sanitation. Those are the 2 areas we hope to focus on. In conclusion, I want to say that we all know that land is a prized asset. We all know how much problem we have, even in our villages, over land ownership. People kill in order to keep the land that they have in the family. That is why it is important for us also to ensure that we do everything possible to ensure the land titling of our lands so that they will be more secure and be able to be bankable. We hope that since housing is a very good, strong bedrock for developing economies, last year in November, he chaired a retreat on housing. I want to thank all my colleagues who have been supportive of me, and also thank the Minister of Information for this program that we are having today. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to showcase our ministry. God bless.
We want to thank the Honorable Minister of Lands and Housing Development for the presentation.